You have heard the instruction more than once. It returned while you were driving and when the room became quiet. It appeared again when you woke during the night and reached for your phone because silence felt too exposed. Then the argument began. You remembered the last time you trusted yourself and things did not go as planned. You imagined what other people might say. You asked God for another sign, then another, until the original clarity disappeared beneath the noise. Chosen one, this is not condemnation. God is not asking you to listen because he needs your fear. He is calling your attention back because a pattern has been deciding your life without your permission. You have called that pattern confusion. You have called it waiting. Before this message ends, you will understand why your mind becomes foggiest around the decisions that matter most. You will feel the difference between conviction that leads toward truth and condemnation that forces you to hide. You will receive a practical way to protect the condition where insight becomes action. Researchers also discovered something about the mind that helps explain why sincere people can feel their inner receiver has gone offline. I will return to that discovery later, because first you need to understand the problem it was designed to address. Do not remain here because you fear punishment. Remain because the signal may not be gone. The receiver may simply be overloaded. Once you see what has been interrupting it, you will no longer mistake noise for silence. Here is the first sign. You can watch something unimportant for an hour and feel awake. But the moment you face the task that could change your life, tiredness enters your body. Your eyes grow heavy. Your hand reaches for the phone. Your mind suddenly wants escape. You may call that laziness. You may call it weak discipline. Yet the deeper pattern is often different. The task is not only asking for effort, it is asking you to become someone your old identity does not fully recognize. You are not only trying to finish a task, you are crossing a line between the person who has survived until now and the person who must carry what comes next. The old self knows delay, the new self requires presence. Pause for one honest question. What is the one thing you already know, but keep surrounding with more thought? Do not solve your whole life. Just name that one thing. Let the answer be simple. Let it be specific. If these words describe your season, place this sentence in the comments. I choose to hear clearly. Not as a performance. Write it as an agreement with the part of you that is ready. There is a difference between God being silent and your attention being divided. In the next moment, you will see the first signs of that division and why it can make a faithful person feel abandoned when they are actually overwhelmed. Your attention can be divided long before you notice it. You read the same paragraph 3 times. You begin a prayer, then reach for your phone before the thought is complete. The moment passes, and you assume nothing was there. You may blame your age. You may blame your discipline. You may wonder whether your faith has become too weak. But those explanations can hide a simpler pattern. Your mind is carrying more competing signals than it can calmly hold at once. This pattern has a name. It is receiver overload. It happens when worry, alerts, unfinished tasks, and imagined conversations compete for your attention. The quiet signal does not always disappear. It is simply crowded out. That changes the meaning of your past. The years of confusion do not prove that God was distant. They may show that you were never taught to protect the condition required for clear attention. Chosen one, this is not another reason to judge yourself. It is a reason to return your power. You cannot control every thought that enters, but you can decide which voice receives your full attention for the next 60 seconds. Try this now. Place the phone down. Let your shoulders soften. Take one slow breath. Then name one thing you know as a fact. Not what you fear. Name only what is already clear. Now name the fear beside it. Keep the two separate. The fact may be that a conversation is overdue. The fear may be that honesty will make someone leave. This is the one-voice test. It does not promise that every decision becomes easy. It gives the clearest truth a moment without competition, so you can hear what remains when fear stops speaking over it. Researchers have also explored how different parts of the brain cooperate during attention, creativity, and decision-making. Their work points towards something many sensitive people have felt but could not name. Clarity depends partly on the condition of the receiver. Later, I will return to a specific approach built around supporting that cooperation. It does not replace prayer. It does not tell you what God wants. It is presented as support for focus and integration. For now, hold one question. What if the fog you have blamed on age or weak discipline is connected to a receiving condition that can be supported? A skeptical part of you may say, this is only another message designed to make you feel special. That response is healthy. You should test what you hear. You do not need to believe that every sentence was sent personally from heaven. Instead, observe the pattern. Do you become scattered when one decision matters most? Do you search for more content after you already know the next reasonable step? Patterns can be tested and interrupted. You are not being asked to surrender your judgment. You are being asked to use it with greater honesty. If this distinction brings relief, write this sentence in the comments. The signal is still here. Overload is not abandonment. Confusion does not mean guidance has disappeared, but overload is only the first layer. A deeper pattern begins when seeking direction becomes a way to delay responsibility. You can ask for signs so often that the search feels faithful, even while it keeps you from taking the first honest step. There is a moment when seeking guidance stops being honest and starts becoming a hiding place. You ask for another sign. You wait for a feeling so strong that no risk remains, yet the decision stays where it was. You may call this caution, you may call it patience. But sometimes the search for certainty becomes a way to avoid responsibility. You keep moving around the decision while never moving through it. This pattern has a name. It is confirmation addiction. It creates the feeling of spiritual progress without requiring a concrete step. Then doubt returns, because no amount of information can remove every consequence. Faith was never designed to provide total control. It gives enough light for the next honest step, but discomfort does not always mean stop, and uncertainty does not always mean wait. Think of Peter stepping from the boat. He was not given a complete map of the water. He was given a direction for the next movement. Faithful action is tested by truth, responsibility, and the step in front of you. Chosen one, perhaps you are not waiting for God. Perhaps you are waiting for certainty that faith was never designed to provide. Let that sentence free you instead of shaming you. Look back at the decisions you delayed. Some needed wisdom or time, but one may have remained open because you wanted a guarantee before you were willing to begin. Your past does not need to become evidence against you. You were trying to protect yourself from pain, but protection becomes a prison when it prevents every meaningful movement. Now take back your agency through one simple rule. Use the reversible step rule. Choose one action that is small, safe, and honest. Then let that action create real information instead of more imagined scenarios. You do not need to quit your job today. You may need to update one page of your resume. You may need to write the truth you have avoided. You do not need to know whether the entire path will succeed. You need to know whether the next step agrees with your values, respects your responsibilities, and moves you toward honesty. Pause here. Place one hand over your chest. Let your breathing slow. What has become clear enough for one small and reversible step? Do not ask for the whole road. Ask for the next movement. When the answer comes, keep it practical. Send one message. Make one appointment. Open one document. Remove one distraction. A faithful step does not need to look dramatic to begin changing a season. If you are ready to release the demand for endless proof, write this sentence in the comments. I release endless confirmation. There is another reason insight often fails to become movement. A truth can feel clear for 10 seconds, then become unreachable when you try to act. The mind may recognize the direction, but different systems inside it are not working together. That is why a daily receiving condition matters. There is an approach described by its creators as an 8-minute auditory sequence designed to support neural cooperation and mental integration. It is one optional tool I will explain later. For now, remember the free practice. 8 minutes can begin with silence. Put the phone away. Let the body settle. Separate fact from fear. Hold one question. Choose one action. Why can truth feel completely clear in one moment, then disappear when your hand reaches for the work? The next layer is not about motivation. It is about the divided receiver. A clear thought can arrive in an instant, then vanish when you try to use it. You know what matters. You feel the direction. But the moment your hand reaches for the work, another part of you pulls away. You may call this poor motivation. You may believe your gift has faded, yet something deeper can be happening. The mind can recognize truth in one place, while another part remains organized around fear, habit, and protection. This pattern has a name. It is the divided receiver. One part of you can see the opportunity. Another part remembers every disappointment. One part imagines what is possible, while another calculates every reason to remain where you are. That division creates a painful experience. Insight appears, but execution does not follow. You receive an idea in the shower, during a walk, or in prayer. Then you sit at the desk, and the idea feels distant. This does not prove your gift is gone. It may show that your inner systems are not working together with enough stability. The signal arrived. The receiver could not hold it long enough to turn it into action. Look back with compassion. The unfinished projects do not automatically mean you lacked calling. The abandoned plans do not prove you were never serious. You may have been trying to build a new future from a state that kept separating vision from movement. Now, you can begin restoring cooperation. Take a page and write 3 simple lines. On the first line, write what I know. On the second, write what I feel. On the third, write what I will do next. Do not make the answers impressive. Make them honest. What you know may be simple. What you feel may be uncomfortable. What you will do next should be small enough to complete. This is the 3-line integration. It brings logic, emotion, and action into one visible place. It does not eliminate fear. It prevents fear from silently replacing the truth you already recognized. You may have tried meditation, soundtracks, or brainwave recordings before. Perhaps they helped for a moment. Perhaps nothing changed. That experience does not make you cynical. It makes you careful. The approach I will describe later is not presented as a brainwave product. It is not a meditation app. Its creators describe it as a targeted auditory sequence designed around whole brain cooperation and neural synchronization. You do not need to accept that claim without thought. You should examine the information, consider your own needs, and remember that no tool can make choices for you. A tool can support a condition. Responsibility still belongs to you. Now picture one clear morning. You wake before reaching for the phone. The room is quiet. One important task enters your mind, and it does not disappear beneath 10 competing thoughts. You write it down. You take the first step. There are no fireworks. There is only a quiet sense that your mind can hold one direction long enough to move. That is the future you are protecting. Not a fantasy where every answer becomes easy. A life where clarity survives contact with action. If this vision feels honest, write this sentence in the comments. My mind can work together. But the divided receiver affects more than work. It can also make guilt sound holy. It can make fear sound like wisdom. In the next section, you will learn the difference between conviction that leads you forward and condemnation that keeps you frozen. Conviction and condemnation can feel similar when you are tired. Both can make you uncomfortable. Both can bring attention to something you have avoided. but they do not lead to the same place. Conviction is specific. It points toward one truth. It may say, face this conversation, correct this habit, or tell the truth about this decision. It may be difficult, but it leaves a path forward. Condemnation is different. It attacks your entire identity. It says you ruin everything. It says you always fail. It gathers every mistake from the past and uses them to make change feel impossible. Conviction says, face this one thing. Condemnation says, you ruin everything. One voice returns responsibility, the other removes hope. Notice what each pattern produces in your body. Conviction may bring tension, but the tension has a direction. You can name the issue and see one action toward honesty. Condemnation feels wider and darker. Your chest tightens, your thoughts begin running in circles. Nothing feels safe enough to do because the problem no longer seems like one behavior. The problem seems to be you, chosen one. God does not need to destroy your dignity to correct your direction. Truth can expose what must change without telling you that your life has no value. This is where many people become trapped. They mistake shame for spiritual seriousness. They believe feeling worse proves they are listening more deeply. But shame often makes the receiver close. Picture two doors in front of you. One door carries the words, specific truth. The other carries the words, global shame. Notice which door gives you one honest step, and which door only makes you want to disappear. Choose the first door. Let one truth remain. Release every accusation that does not lead to a clear and responsible action. Not every body sensation is a message from God. Not every strong feeling should be obeyed. Important medical, legal, and financial decisions may require qualified professional guidance. Discernment is not the rejection of wisdom. It is the willingness to test what you sense. Ask whether the message agrees with your values, respects reality, and leads toward honesty rather than panic. Now return to the question opened earlier. Researchers studied how different parts of the brain cooperate during attention, creativity, and decision-making. I waited to return to it because a tool only makes sense after the problem is clear. The problem is not that you lack faith. The problem is not that your calling disappeared. The problem is that overload, repeated fear, and divided attention can keep insight from becoming stable action. Why does understanding this still fail to create movement? Why can you recognize overload, release condemnation, and return to the same fog tomorrow? The missing piece is not another message. It is the condition your mind returns to after the message ends. You now know the pattern. You know the signal can remain while attention becomes crowded. You know endless confirmation can hide avoidance. You know a divided receiver can separate vision from execution. If this clarity is becoming real, write this sentence in the comments. Clarity leads me forward. The next section closes the open loop. You will see the framework you possess, the identity you can carry, and the optional tool designed to support the receiving condition. You now understand the why. Overload can crowd the signal. Confirmation can become avoidance. A divided receiver can separate insight from action. Condemnation can freeze the person who is trying to change. You understand the what. Use the one-voice test. Use the reversible step rule. Use the 3-line integration. Protect an 8-minute receiving window daily, even if it begins with silence. And now you understand the who. You are becoming the responsible receiver. You protect attention, test what you sense, and act on the clearest truth available. The clarity you have received is real, but clarity that disappears every morning cannot carry a calling. The question is no longer whether you understand. The question is what condition you will return to tomorrow. Earlier, I asked you to hold a question about research and the receiving condition. Here is why I waited. Information becomes useful only when you understand the problem it is meant to address. The product story points to Dr. Roger Sperry, and the split brain research associated with the Nobel Prize in 1981. Its creators use that work to explain why cooperation between the two hemispheres may matter for attention and integration. They describe whole brain activation as a state where different mental functions cooperate more effectively. These are product claims, not guaranteed conclusions. A woman from California reported that the fog began to lift after using the sequence. A man from Texas reported greater clarity and easier decisions. These are personal experiences, not guaranteed results. The team is led by Dr. Daniel Barone in New York. They created an 8-minute targeted auditory sequence called the Genius Switch. It is a digital audio track. The user wears headphones, closes the eyes, relaxes, and listens for 8 minutes each day. Its creators describe the method as neural sync technology designed to support hemisphere synchronization and whole brain cooperation. It is not presented as a brainwave recording. It is not a binaural product. It is not a meditation app. The stated goal is cooperation across the whole brain rather than producing a single mood. The Genius Switch is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who is ready to stop treating mental fog as a moral failure and begin supporting the mind that must carry the next season. Hear this clearly. Not buying it does not mean you lack faith. The free practices remain available, and no product can replace prayer, wisdom, responsibility, or qualified care. The product presentation compares it with neurofeedback that can cost hundreds per hour and says, colleagues once viewed its value at $500. The listed price is $49. The current page described in the product file offers it for $39. It also includes lifetime access and 4 bonuses. The bonuses include a guided visualization, a grocery guide, a classic manifestation book, and a 5 habits guide. A money-back guarantee is also described. The provider states that the current price may change. That does not mean you should act from pressure. Read the information carefully. Consider whether the tool fits your needs, your budget, and your judgment. The cost of waiting is not that God removes a blessing. The cost is remaining inside a pattern that you already know is limiting your focus. The provider states that the official version is available only through its verified page. Similar titles elsewhere may not contain the same claimed method. If your spirit resonates with what has been described, the link in the description and the pinned comment leads to the official page. Read every detail before making a decision. The tool does not replace God. It does not choose for you. It does not repair a relationship, send an application, or speak the truth you have avoided. A tool may support the receiver. Responsibility still belongs to you. And that is where we return now. Even a clearer mind can hesitate when growth threatens an old identity. The next pattern is the guilt that appears when becoming more, feels like betraying who you used to be. The tool does not replace God. It does not make a decision for you. It does not repair a relationship, send the application, or speak the truth you have avoided. A tool may support clarity. Obedience and responsibility still belong to you. There is another pattern that can appear after clarity returns. You see the opportunity. You feel the next step. Then guilt rises because becoming more feels like leaving someone behind. You may notice it when your work begins to grow. You may feel it when a new door opens. Part of you is grateful, but another part becomes afraid that success will change how people see you. You may call this humility. You may call it loyalty. But sometimes it is neither. Sometimes it is growth, guilt. Growth guilt appears when your old identity was built around being the one who sacrifices, stays small, or asks for very little. A larger life can feel like betrayal, even when it is the result of honest work. This does not make you selfish. It shows how deeply belonging can shape behavior. The mind often protects familiar relationships, even when the price is another delayed opportunity. Look back with compassion. Some of the chances you rejected may not have been wrong for you. You may have feared the new role they required. You were not only choosing between success and failure, you were choosing between a familiar identity and a future identity that had not yet earned your trust. Your delay does not disqualify you, but protecting the identity that created the delay will keep reproducing it. Now practice loyalty reassignment. You are not required to stay loyal to your smallest version. You can remain loyal to love, integrity, humility, and responsibility while still allowing yourself to grow. Name one behavior that belongs to the old identity. Perhaps it is apologizing for every idea. Perhaps it is hiding your work. Perhaps it is saying yes when your whole body knows the answer is no. Now name one behavior that belongs to the person you are becoming. Speak clearly, finish the application, set the boundary, share the work. Let the new identity become visible through one action. Picture yourself sitting before the task you have delayed. The screen is open, your hand is steady. You do not open 10 new tabs, and you do not search for another message. You complete the proposal, you send the email, you make the call. There are no fireworks. There is only a quiet sentence inside you. I did what I knew I needed to do. That quiet sentence matters. It is evidence that clarity survived contact with action. It is evidence that growth does not require you to abandon your values. A part of you may still whisper that you are unworthy. It may say you waited too long. Grace does not erase responsibility, but it returns your ability to choose again. Delay is not a permanent identity. Failure is not a spiritual name. You are allowed to learn from the old pattern without continuing to serve it. For the person who felt something settle when the receiving condition was described, the resource remains in the description and pinned comment. Read the information carefully and let your decision come from clarity rather than pressure. The deeper work is still yours. The next step must still be taken by your hands. In the next section, you will receive an 8-minute practice that can be used whether you choose the resource or not. Clarity becomes stronger when it has a protected place to return to. You do not need a perfect room. You do not need candles, special music, or a complicated ritual. You need 8 honest minutes. This is the 8-minute receiving window. Use it once each day, especially before the noise of the world begins deciding what deserves your attention. For the first 2 minutes, remove input. Put the phone outside your reach. Close every unnecessary screen. Let the room become ordinary and quiet. Do not force your breathing. Let it slow on its own. Feel the weight of your body where you are sitting. Notice how much effort you have been using to hold everything together. For the next 2 minutes, name the noise. Separate 3 things. Name one fact. Name one fear. Then name one borrowed voice. The fact is what you can verify. The fear is what you imagine may happen. The borrowed voice is an expectation or warning that entered your mind from someone else. Keep them separate. Do not let fear dress itself as fact. Do not let expectations placed on you speak with the authority of your own deepest values. For minutes 5 and 6, hold one question. Do not ask what your entire future will become. Ask only, what is the next honest step? Let the answer remain small. You are not trying to control the road. You are creating enough silence to recognize the next movement. For the final 2 minutes, create evidence. Write one sentence that names the issue. Write one fear you are willing to face. Choose one action, then choose the time you will do it. At the end of 8 minutes, you should have 4 things. 1 clear sentence, 1 named fear, 1 small action, 1 real time. This is how clarity becomes visible. It leaves the world of feeling and enters the world of evidence. You can measure whether you acted, instead of wondering whether the moment was real. Now let your eyes close or lower your gaze. Release your shoulders. Let your hands rest without gripping anything. Imagine a quiet room filled with several radios. Each radio carries a different voice. One speaks fear, one repeats the past, One carries expectations placed on you by others. Walk toward the first radio and turn it off. Then turn off the second. Continue until only one gentle sound remains. The silence is not empty. It is not proof that God has left. It is the space where one signal can be heard without being attacked by 10 others. Place one hand over your chest. Feel one full breath enter. Say these words slowly. I do not need every answer. I need the next honest step. Let the sentence settle. You are not demanding certainty. You are returning to presence. You are teaching the receiver that it does not need to chase every voice. When you open your eyes, write the action before the noise returns. Keep it small enough to complete. Keep it honest enough to matter. Use this window with or without any tool. A product may support a condition, but a practice teaches you how to protect it. The two are not the same. Before this message closes, I am going to speak a declaration over the part of you that mistook overload for abandonment. Let the next words reach that part without resistance. Chosen one, you have stayed with a difficult truth. The signal may not have disappeared. The receiver may have been crowded, divided, and trained to search for certainty before taking one honest step. You have seen the pattern. Overload can bury attention. Confirmation can become avoidance. Condemnation can attack identity. Growth, guilt, can keep a familiar life in place. None of this means you are broken beyond repair. It means the pattern can finally be named. What can be named can be examined. What can be examined can be interrupted. Take one slow breath. Release the need for one more sign. Release the belief that fog means failure. Release the voices that do not belong to your values. Release shame around the years you delayed. Release the identity that only feels safe when nothing changes. You do not need to punish the old version of you. You only need to stop letting that version decide everything. Receive these next words as a prayerful reflection, not as a prediction. My child, I am not asking you to carry the entire road today. I am asking you to stop abandoning the light already placed on the next step. You do not need to force the future. You need to become present enough to meet it. You do not need to prove your worth through fear. You need to walk with honesty, wisdom, and courage. Let these declarations become your own. Speak them in your heart, or speak them aloud. I am not abandoned. I am learning to protect my attention. I can separate fear from truth. I do not need endless confirmation. My past delay does not own my next decision. My mind is allowed to become clear. My faith does not require self-condemnation. I receive responsibility without shame. I take the next honest step. I am a responsible receiver. You are not a frightened person waiting for heaven to make every decision. You are a responsible receiver who can protect attention, test what you sense, and act with faith, wisdom, and integrity. This is what listening means now. It does not mean obeying every impulse. It means creating enough quiet to examine what is true, then taking the smallest responsible action that truth requires. Think of the one thing you named earlier. Do not carry 10 possible actions into tomorrow. Choose one, write it down, give it a time. When that time arrives, begin before your feelings become perfect. Let action create the evidence that endless thinking could never provide. If this declaration belongs to your season, write these words in the comments. I receive clarity and ACT. Do not write them to impress anyone. Write them as a record of the decision you are making inside yourself. The signal is not lost. The noise is being released. The next step is enough. You do not need the whole map tonight. You need one honest movement. You need one protected window. You need one decision that agrees with the person you are becoming. Let peace replace pressure. Let responsibility replace shame. Let clarity become action. The signal is still here. You are learning how to receive it. You are learning how to carry it. You are learning how to move. The signal is not lost. The noise is being released. The next step is enough. Amen.